against him tonight. It's time to find out. Please welcome 14-time ranking event champion, Enter the Dragon, Junhui. And his opponent, the newly crowned international champion, Zhang.
The Tour Championship, Junhui was supposed to play in that tournament. It got moved because of the pandemic. He didn't play in the rescheduled date. Stephen Maguire came in as the next on the list and won it. Now, in this event, of course, Ding, as of yesterday morning, wasn't in it. But he's been called up as first reserve with Ronnie O'Sullivan withdrawing. So I wonder if that could be an omen for him here. It's a big bonus for him to be here. Of course, he did win a tournament last season, the Six Reds World Championship. He was next on the list. It was Zhang winning last weekend at the International Championship, who looked like he'd knocked Ding out of this event, but he's back in. They're playing each other. As for Zhang, well, what a whirlwind he's experiencing at the moment. Just a few weeks ago, he was world number 57. He was sort of tagged as a bit of a journeyman. Never been past a quarter-final. Got to the English Open final. And last week was absolutely superb in winning that title in Tianjin to make a serious breakthrough. He made 10 centuries in the tournament. Last season, the whole season, he only made 9. So he made more centuries in that tournament than he made all last year. It was just a sensational display, which, of course, Ding saw firsthand when they played in the quarterfinals. But Ding is the man with the experience in this event. His 8th appearance in the Champion of Champions. He was flying back to the UK. He actually didn't know he was in the tournament because he didn't have his Wi-Fi enabled on the plane. But when he turned it on, he found out, and I'm sure he was delighted.
Yeah, you're right to point out the way that it was. In that
8.
Previously he missed out on a tournament during the pandemic that Maguire won, and so it is kind of almost payback time. He's got his just desserts. Of course, he did win that 6 Reds, so that was quite a big tournament at the time over in Thailand. An opportunity that he didn't know, and perhaps that'll bring about a different result to many would have expected. Everyone knows what he's capable of. Goodness me, what a player. Of course, he was heading back to the UK to play at York in the UK Championship, which he will be, but that's another event that he does ever so well in. Maybe this is the time of year he see him at his best. UK November. That's a great shot.
17.
He played it so confidently.
Good early signs. The problem is, though, he's going to have to qualify, isn't he, now? Because Zhang has gone above him in the ranking list. That's another thing that happened last weekend. So he'll have to go to Leicester to win 2 matches to get into the main draw in York.
24.
Yeah, which, of course, when you got to that world final, it was the 1 year out of many where he had to qualify. The isolated incident of him not being in the 16 at his best run. So,
25.
Again, it's all there with Ding. It's just piecing it all together at the right time with him. All the talent in the world.
$32. $33.
So this is the 5th black coming up.
40.
I mean, he'd love to stay around the black spot. But I'm afraid, I'm not sure he can. He'd have to make a big effort to do so. Put it that way.
$41.
Best performance in the Champion of Champions 2 semi-finals, 2014, 2016.
44. 45.
It's a terrific start, isn't it? And the long red that he potted
50.
was tough, and all of a sudden he's got the frame at his mercy, you feel, if he can keep going. And there's many ways to
51.
win a frame, but it's pleasing if he can do it from a position of very little at the start. And he's picked up the speed of the table ever so quickly. It reminds me of the way that Barry Hawkins started yesterday.
58.
Seems to be completely in tune with it.
$59. $66.
Well, it needs a red in any colour, and this red to middle, if it's the second one, it only just pots, it seems. And the red's partly in the way, but because he's so close with the cue ball, he might be able to just put a bit of right-hand side on to square the angle off, if he's not sure about it. The trace of right-hand side, perhaps, to make the potting angle winning one, if you like. Yeah, just a trace right of centre. We got a great view of that to ensure the pot went in.
Well, thank goodness he did turn his phone back on, because this is a brilliant start from Ding. Very classy stuff. And that should secure the frame. Yeah, be disappointed because he doesn't want Zhang table time here.
74.
But it looks like he's going to, albeit needing 2 snookers.
Well, he hasn't really given him any table time after that last
74.
shot. Of course, if he'd have potted all the balls, he definitely wouldn't have given him any. But it is, as Dave said, a great start. We saw the world champion Luca Bassell here yesterday. He didn't really get many shots at all. It's almost like Barry Hawkins had it in for him because he dared to be world champion. It's a minor version of that, I suppose, with Zhang superbly winning last week. Now coming into an event with the one table setup, prestigious event like this, maybe it's going to be a different experience for him. Like playing Ding here.
Yeah, and suddenly all eyes are on him, aren't they? Which they haven't been for the 14 years He's been, well, on and off the tour, actually, in that period. Whereas Ding, of course, is used to the scrutiny.
Three. Ding Junhui. Three.
Zhang
And the frame.
remains in his seat, so Ding pretty swiftly, in 9 minutes, in fact, has taken the opening frame, a break of 74. Did all the damage against our latest winner on the World Snooker Tour, Zhang Anda. Welcome back. A bit of Chesney Hawkes between frames there. Who will be the one and only winner on Sunday? We will find out in due course. Right
Thank
now,
you.
Ding Junhui looking
The second
sharp already.
frame.
We don't really know how
Ding
Zhang's
Junhui,
playing.
three.
He didn't have much table time there. In frame one.
Please make sure your phones are on silent.
Zhang Anda comes from a sporting family. His father was a state champion at table tennis. He was very keen for his son to go into that sport. Took him to a table tennis club, but there was a snooker club very close by, and he spent more time in there. That was his chosen sport. And in fact, he later bought the table tennis club and turned it into a snooker club, just to sort of rub it in. I'm told that that's where his friends and family now watch him when he's playing in all these tournaments. Yeah, he became the 6th Chinese player, Zhang, to win a world ranking event. But of course, only the 2nd to do it in China itself after Ding. £175,000 he won and propelled himself into the world's top 16 and indeed into this.
Oh, fantastic touch.
One.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a small event that he won. It was the biggest ranking event in money that we've had yet this season. Of course, the UK Championship will go past it, but until now, it's the biggest tournament that we've seen in the campaign, and it's won by somebody who hadn't won before. But it has been a terrific month or so for him. That is just a beautiful shot. I mean, he was on the red, not right behind it, but he could hardly have played it better.
8.
And not this time. There was a lot to think about there. Queuing down on the ball. The pot was difficult, and also he's looking to get a cannon on the black ball, which would have been to his interests. He kind of failed on all counts. Tough shot.
One.
The tournament Ding won last season, the 6 Reds World Championship, but it is as it sounds. It's snooker with 6 Reds as opposed to 15. Big money event in Bangkok, Thailand, and he beat the likes of O'Sullivan, Stuart Bingham, Tom Ford, who we just saw in the final at the weekend, and then in the final itself, Tepchara Nu.
Yeah, you get the feeling with Ding that he takes most things in his stride, but he actually did punch the air on winning that. You know, it meant a lot to him to get another trophy under his belt. Sometimes you feel that he's almost so famous in Asia that nothing really matters, but clearly that did. He just clipped the near jaw, as you
Junhui,
saw from the
8.
overhead.
There is a light on your camera. Would you please make sure it's off? Thanks.
I don't think Ding played that last shot, certainly with the cue ball, as well as he might have. But in actual fact, he's caused a problem for Zhang, leaving that red on the left exposed. But Zhang can't get to it, so whatever he plays, he's got to either pop one or not stick one. Yeah, playing at that speed, not an easy shot. And the red has stayed a little close to the pocket, and another chance for Ding Junhui. Certainly the red out on the left of the table, which caused him the worry. That's why he played it gently.
1.
So an early chance here for Ding just to seize a bit of control of this match. Of course, Zhang, as I say, has been in a bit of a whirlwind, and there's the jet lag coming back as well. But Ding's only just flown back himself, so okay, he's not won the tournament, but he's back on British soil as well, trying to get used to that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Champion of Champions is people book their places at various different times of the year. So Ronnie, who won this, is not here 12 months ago. Gary Wilson on the Scottish
9.
way back, I think December it must have been, mustn't it? So he's been in this event ever since then. Zhang's been in it since Sunday. Unavoidably into the bunch here. Can he slide through? There seems to be a big gap down the middle of that bunch. You might just see the cube will just go right through them. Lots of things to see on that shot.
17.
Well, you watch this probably about 5 times. You probably see something different every time that happened.
22.
What has happened is that the balls have developed
23.
very nicely indeed.
$28. $29. 31.
Looking sharp already. Played a particularly good match in the International Championship against Gary Wilson. He won 6-5. One of those matches he could have lost if he hadn't really fought hard, because Gary was playing well as well. So his form was pretty good last week, really. And again, just the bonus of being here when, you know, yesterday morning he wasn't. You just feel that could be a factor, possibly.
$38. 39.
Well, this is the tournament. All we've heard from players that have come into the studios, how much they love playing Champion of Champions, the format, the prestige, the one-table setup. And I'm sure Ding feels the same. But maybe he's on a bit of a free roll, you know. We know the story. He didn't know he was in it until yesterday, but no time to think about anything. Just play.
46.
All the bonus to him. Who knows? Just might be the sort of slight springboard he needs to start winning again in the UK. I remember when he won the
51.
UK Championship for the third time pre-pandemic. He beaten Steve Maguire. He said, you know, Ding is back. He seemed really pleased about it. It's quite gone that way.
52.
Till, of course, last year's UK Championship in the final again. Between that, not so much.
But we know when he puts it all together, he's still pretty formidable. And this red already
58.
is for a 2-0 lead after just 21 minutes of play. Zhang, who we saw so much of in Tianjin, has not really been sighted yet in Bolton. Had a couple of half chances. Nothing doing yet for him.
$65.
Well, he's surely done enough.
65 and the break.
Zhang remains in his chair. He's got a slight problem with his logo, but he's also got a slight problem with this man, Ding Junhui, halfway to victory, leading 2-0. Zhang and Ding Junhui, an all-Chinese affair here this afternoon, and it is Ding on top 2-0, and so far Zhang's only scored 8 points. Ding looking very solid, breaks of 74 and 65.
Well, in frame one, Ding rolled this red in, but the black is not available this time because the other red's gone down to cover it to the same pocket as before. That's a mistake. Just looking at the options here, he needs to get in early. I mean, as Dave said, it's scored just 8 points. He needs to get a foothold into this match somehow. We know what he's been doing. Was he beat Ding last week? It doesn't look the easiest of shots he's left here, Zhang. Here it is, it stays over the pocket, but the cue ball slides past the brown ball, and the red near the pocket's covered now. So I don't know what he plays here that's a positive shot. Won't be that one. It's got one red to the left of the black. It's very difficult. They actually were the kind of shots he was knocking in the hole at the time he was in Tianjin. Shots like that, difficult pots that he takes on 100%. Now, if he pots this black, the cue ball should take him down to bulk. Not in the same form
Zhang,
as he was over the weekend.
Exactly, so far today's missed the pots he was getting last week.
1.
And already time is starting to run out. This is a short match, just best of 7. Big queuing nicely. Zhang struggling.
Well, he's got a shot to go into the bunch here, perhaps, if he wanted to, off yellow or green. And he doesn't have to play that, because he might want to take the red away from the black spot before he pots the black soon after. But he could go into them.
Three.
Oh, goodness me, how did he miss that? Didn't consider him missing that one. That was a sitter.
Junhui, 3.
Played some good snooker in 2 frames. This is the miss of the week. We don't really have the opposite of a hot shot reel, do we? But that was a glaring error.
It's almost like because Zhang's struggling, he's not feeling any sort of pressure and just wasn't fully focused on that. Very surprising.
One.
A little cursory look down the line as if the black went as about 3 balls in the way of it. So the snooker is certainly not really what he wanted. Rolling into the side of the bunch. Pretty big target, but I don't think Zhang had any choice but to play that.
I know one thing, if you'd have told Zhang 3 years ago all this would be happening, he might not have believed you. He didn't play in the World Championship in COVID times. It was moved in the UK. His son had been born. He stayed in China. He was concerned about travelling, understandably. And because of that, he dropped off the tour and spent a year off. Didn't get back on until just 2 years ago. Obviously, he's had to work his way up from 0 ranking points. So this really is a meteoric rise, what's happened to him.
I think his priority was to get the cue ball back down. Of course, the red was totally out of control once he missed it by that sort of distance. Oh, surely Ding will be tempted by this red now. From there, he's not even in the bulk area. And with the black over the pocket or near it, certainly worth it.
One.
Playing it cushion first is what he might be faced with. It might actually be in his favour. Taking the cue ball out of there, back towards the reds. More so than if he could reach it and just played it directly.
Eight.
Does that red go? Goodness, through the gap. Wow. Well, that was
9.
more than handy that red was on.
Another chance then, of course, he missed that red earlier to the yellow pocket. He's one real slip up so far. Otherwise, he's looked pretty sharp here.
60.
There's the difference in the pot success. I mean, Zhang absolutely nowhere at 44%. Ding
70.
88 with a chance for that to go up here.
But this is the one aspect of Ding Junhui's game that's always been there. You know, his ability around the black spot,
24.
ability to call it top of the table, where they do all their scoring at this end, and he's always been like that. I mean,
25.
and that he's not played the best positional shot there, but his weight of scoring around the high-value colours has been up there with some of the great players, and that's why we think of him as a great player. Sometimes when it gets scrappy, it's not to his liking, and that last shot wouldn't have been either. Queuing over the red unnecessarily. Ah, nice. Nice recovery, that. He elevated the cue, but still managed to put stun or even backspin on the cue ball. That was a good
32.
shot. Looking a little ominous, isn't it? I mean, we saw a lot of Zhang last week. We saw how well he played, you know, beating O'Sullivan for the second time this season. Ding himself. It looks a different day today, doesn't it? It really does.
Yeah, I mean, the travelling's one thing, but also he
40.
maybe hasn't had time to mentally process what he's actually done. You know, he suddenly won this big tournament. There was a reception
41.
in China for him. Then it's on the plane here. He'll have congratulations from everybody. Maybe he's not had much time to actually think about what he's actually achieved.
Welcome to the snooker calendar as it's put together. It's very busy, isn't it?
48.
It's very busy, which is a good thing. It's not a bad
49.
problem to have, is it? But I do agree with you. It does seem that way. And he's not quite got to grips with this.
And also his status has overnight completely changed, isn't it? He's now become a player everyone wants to beat, everyone's wary of. Good problem to have. it means you're in the winner's
56.
circle. But as to whether he'll be winning this match, it's looking increasingly unlikely. Ding's 2 pots away from a 3-0 lead. John Higgins,
57.
tongue-in-cheek, said he would be a long match for these two, but at the moment, Ding looking a heavy, heavy favourite.
$63. 64. 71. 72.
'Well, you never quite know what you're going to get with Ding these days, but when he plays his best
79.
game, you're reminded of what a really brilliant player he is. He's won 24 professional titles, 14 of them world ranking events. Been one of the best in the business now for the last 15 years or so.
Yeah, as I say, it's all about control
87.
and keeping that cue ball in very tight positions. You know, a bit like the man who was meant to play
88.
today, Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's the best at it I've ever seen. You know, it's his cue ball and his break building. Ding is of that same ilk. You know, it's not always other forms of the game when it gets scrappy that he likes. It's taking a sort of similar
95.
pattern to the previous. This Wakelin
97.
played a high break of 5 going into the 4th frame. Zhang had as high as 8 so far, so it's not dissimilar.
This green then for his 10th century in the Champion of Champions. And there's the roar from the crowd, appreciating the skill on show. It might be one-sided, but you can hear what they think of the way Ding's playing. Okay, change hands if it's easier. So 100 exactly
100.
from Ding. Zhang, the game's newest champion, in all sorts of trouble here. Being completely outplayed. Ding 1 away from victory, leading 3-0. So Ding, who as of yesterday morning wasn't in this tournament, is now a frame away from a meeting with the great John Higgins this evening in the group final.
Thank
He leads
you.
3-0. He's just made a
3
century.
and 4.
Well,
Ding
Zhang's
Junhui
ice break
break.
8. Everything, every stat from his perspective has got to go up. This is a reminder, really, of the reality of the game. You know, you're up one day, you're shot down the next.
It's the other factor, I think, last week, and it's not really making any difference to who wins, but it seemed that the pockets played really easily in Tianjin. Now, that's not why Zhang won, because how much you want to play Ding or Ronnie O'Sullivan on big pockets? Not much. But they're not quite so generous, I think, this week. And I think it's something of a one-off, but even if you disagree with me, the breaks told you that there was big pockets, absolute centuries raining in for the whole first few days. So maybe it's a different sort of snooker that's played, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we had over 100 centuries at the venue in Tianjin.
Point I'm making is I wonder if it just slightly changes the context of matches a little bit. Maybe subconsciously shots are played differently. The first mistake very often was the only mistake in a frame because players were just mopping up.
Well, right now, Zhang would like a break in double figures. Just get his hand on this table, put a few together. Good safety. One thing we saw Neil last week, he's serene, isn't he? He's calm outwardly, certainly. You know, you're never really sure what he's feeling. There were moments where you feel he must be under pressure here. He didn't show it.
No, he was very good all the way through. It was completely the best player on the whole of the 8 days that it lasted. And you can't even say, well, that's a bit of a one-off because it's too big a prize for that. And he was 7-3 up on Judd Trump in the English Open final a few weeks before. So, you know, the form has been there. And a tremendous run of form. I mean, he's 2 or 3 shots away, perhaps, from winning 2 ranking events this season. Well, I mean, the snooker behind the black looks near certainty if he wants to play it. It might not amount to much, but yeah, what else can he play? Also, it just frees up the black. You play these shots sometimes not in the belief that it's ever going to win you the frame. I suppose Ding's just got to play out of it. And escape leaving a red on.
Well, nice. Zhang under 4.
Well, imagine trying to do that, trying to find that gap.
Yeah, I mean, you try to hit the underside of that first red, but somehow it slipped through a gap which didn't hardly appear to be there.
Yeah, they're just not quite going in, are they, like they were? And worse still, of course, he's left this on now. They'll be fearing the worst. Just thinking, looking at Ding in his distinctive T-shirt, of course, he turned up at the English Open, the tournament Zhang got to the final of, wearing a very nice brown suit and was Dr. Frame, because that wasn't the dress code. He was wearing the wrong trousers, he was told.
1.
He was dressed too smartly.
I know. That did seem a bit odd, didn't it? Let's be honest. Said, well, get it for the next match. Anyway. He took it all in good grace, won the match and just smiled through it.
8.
Again, as you can see, the Reds are lined up here. I think if he's going to play that second red up, he wants to avoid hitting the one that's just next to it, because otherwise the black might not be available. Yeah, he's done that.
9.
Well, this is his
16.
first real chance to get it won. And then you get a good break until the evening against John Higgins.
70.
No, that wasn't quite how he wanted that count to work out. He wanted to be on the bottom red to the left corner. I suppose one thing we almost love about sport is how it's what they call a great leveller.
30.
And this has been a different experience today to the one he experienced at the weekend, because he was brilliant. He played
31.
so well. It was the weekend of his snooker life. Of course, it's not the end of the world, but he would like to have played better here. He's not really participated in this match today. That's a few days in sport for you, summed up.
38. $39.
Well, Zhang must be fearing the worst, but I think most snooker fans would agree, regardless of who he's playing here. It's nice to see Ding queuing well again. You know, his form is a bit sporadic these days. He comes good now and again, but the fact he's dropped out the top 16 tells its own story. Hasn't been so hot of late, but when he turns it with the century in the last frame, reminder what a class act he is.
$45. $52.
This must be tight. Can he get to it at all? It looks as if, again, he might have to use a bit of right-hand side just to square up the angle, because it's only just available if it is at all. Well, in it goes.
53.
That could well be end of break. Not quite sure how he could possibly keep
60.
it going here. And that'll annoy him even at this point where he's in a very strong position. The other red which went up the table just covered them both, as you saw. So now Zhang should come to the table still in the match, but not by very much. It's going to be a very late rally if he's going to keep himself in the swing of this.
Yes, I mean, it has been one-sided. Look at that, total points. 313 plays 14. And the high breaks, I mean, well, that may change yet, but it does tell its own story. It has been completely one-sided.
Ding Junhui, 60.
Very much like the first match of the afternoon, John Higgins and Chris Wakeland.
I guess some people might say, well, it's lopsided the way that this event is played out. But I mean, the two players, Wakeland and Zhang, have been in the final of ranking events in the last few weeks that haven't even been the reason they've qualified to play in this. So it's not as if it's one-offs. They've both reached ranking events. Aside from their appearances, so they've been players of the season, but not players of the day.
Yeah, the question is Zhang going to get a chance here? And can he take it? It's not impossible. He could clear it from here and suddenly we're into another frame. Ding determined not to leave that chance because he knows the way these matches can turn around. At the moment, he looks the only winner, but we've seen before matches can turn on the odd shot.
Might just play the... Well, I thought he might play up to bulk. He's not risking it with the red down there. You feel that one more error from Zhang surely would be it, where these balls are. Can't think there'd be a way back if Ding was left another chance. This could be a chance for Ding Junhui to pot the middle red of the three here, the right corner, and send the cue ball back to the bulk end. Wouldn't be easy, but it's definitely a possible shot. I've called it thick though. The one way you don't want to miss them on the thick side of the potting angle. Now then, this better go in, I think, for Zhang and this red.
Last chance saloon time this for Zhang Anda, snooker's newest champion. Can he get in here? He can. Where's the white? He's okay.
One.
So some sort of chance. All the best dramas have late twists. Could this be one here? Because Ding's already had a couple of good chances to kill this off.
Six. Seven.
Well, shake of the head, but he's always got the red to middle. It's okay.
12.
Didn't want to be playing this one, I don't think, right now.
$30. $90. $20.
Well, as someone who's played the game, I must admit, you don't like to see a player get completely swamped out there, and it was looking as if he was hardly going to pot a ball in the entire match. But
27.
now at least this chance has come along to give him something to work with. But he's got plenty more to do, and of course, whatever he takes
20.
with that other red and its colour, it's the red up on the right side. Doesn't necessarily pass the yellow into that top pocket. That might cause him problems. For now, it's good to see him pulling some balls.
$35. $36. $41.
Contribution at least. The first red, of course, was missable.
Zhang,
Nearly got it off.
41.
Taking himself into a position was in the frame. It's always going to be difficult to. It's always going to be difficult to be on that red. And now he's got a shot, but it's not particularly easy cueing. And it looks straight, actually. I mean, who would you like to have this shot to sort of screw back to the blue spot? Maybe Judd Trump or somebody. Cue power may be required if you're going to get out of that little corner of the table. Don't really have that in his armour, that cue power. But at least he's potted the red, and now I'm sure it's going to have to be a safety shot, isn't it? A snooker behind the green. Shackleton couldn't have somehow developed something there. Even if Ding makes a mistake, yellow to green to brown to blue aren't easy where these balls are. They're not impossible, but they're not straightforward.
Sort of looked to the heavens there as if to say, can get some help, because this match could have been over by now.
I don't know why he played it with right-hand side, though. Watching you cue it up, I mean, surely
Zhang under 4.
That was just... The natural angle was easily accessible. Just played it with a lot of right-hand side and checked it off the cushion. That's why he didn't make contact. Strange way of playing it, I think.
Well, you saw the intent, but didn't move the green, so that is, for now, the key ball here. 8 points in it. He's managed to battle his way back into this frame.
Zhang under 2.
Well, that's a big error, I think. Has he got any angle to get from green to brown, Ding Junhui? If it's just off straight, you could push it through. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. A little trace of left-hand side to help run it down for the brown. Needs it to slow down. Willing it to. Well, he's literally on the brown, but not to pot it. Maybe too much left-hand side on that. All he had to do was just get himself the other side of the blue, and he'd have been fine. And that was probably the last thing he had to achieve there, getting behind the brown. He would have definitely had the match won then. Oh, surely a push shot.
Yeah.
Surely. Well, I think it was a push shot anyway. I think that's what it was called. That's why the referee laughed. This is, yeah, I mean, that's a push shot all day, but it's gone off in the middle anyway, so we don't need to worry.
So, Zhang, maybe one big shot here could win him his first frame. Equally, he could lose him the match if he doesn't get the brown. Been sort of hanging on the last 10 minutes or so. Nicely done. So now it's about getting on this pink, which is all he will need for his first frame. It could so easily have been 4-0 several times.
Nine.
No, this is definitely missable under the circumstances.
Middle of the pocket. So Ding had several chances to kill it off. But the match continues into at least one more frame. Zhang Anda wins his first. Ding's lead reduced to 3-1. So Zhang Anda has prevented the whitewash, winning that dramatic 28-minute fourth frame.
Thank you.
On the pink.
3-5.
3-1 though it is to Ding Junhui.
Zhang Anda to break.
Had Ding got on the brown off the green, I'm sure this would all be done by now, but it didn't happen. Played that push shot, and then the question was, with the in-off as well, could Zhang knock that brown in? He did. And you just never know. It's a short match. It doesn't take that long to turn round.
Zhang's break on all three times broken off has left a red to the right corner gettable. That'll be something to think about. Should he find a way of winning this match? Because at this level, players do knock them in. Ding's only potted one of them, but break-off has not worked out for him today. Anyway, he's in first in the frame. That's all that really matters.
Eight.
Yeah, I'm not sure we even mentioned that he made a maximum, of course, in the final as well. It was such an extraordinary day for him. That was just on Sunday. That was his second 147 in tournament play. It's up to 23 centuries this season. He only made 9 the whole of last. Just as things were looking up.
I'll make a statement, Dave, that that would have been gobbled up by the pockets in Tianjin. sort of just slightly more unforgiving, aren't they, the pockets here? He's always been a good player in the middle pocket. I wonder if he thought he might prefer the red to the opposite middle to this one. But either way, one of his strengths. This is nowhere near. I feel that the red to the right middle, I'd have really thought he would miss. Wouldn't have missed under any circumstances there. Play the more difficult option of the two. That tried hard to drop, and all round the middle pocket. Ding can't believe it. See this again, it comes back in the opposite direction. Very close.
It's funny, isn't it, that having failed to kill the match off, it's just getting harder for Ding. Well, again, good attempt at the double, but not to beat. Just suddenly feels a bit tense. At one stage it looked like a procession for Ding, but now it's all a little bit edgy.
Big chances appeared very early in the frame. Well, we thought he'd win 4-0. It looked like he would. So I suppose
6.
no guarantees on any score like that. But it is another good opportunity.
Seven.
I do think there's something to be said for getting in a tournament you're sort of not supposed to be in. I mean, he could have got in it. He was waiting on what happened in Tianjin. But with Ronnie O'Sullivan withdrawing, he was the next one on the list. Remember Denmark all those years ago? There's lots of other examples in sport coming in at the last minute and making use of it. Steve Maguire, as I say, Tour Championship 3 years ago when Ding himself withdrew.
Would you put that radio down, please? It's your security. 15. $21. 22.
I mean, he's been a great player over many, many years, Ding Junhui, but this is where he looks at his most potent, most comfortable at the table. Now, when he's in amongst them. I know that should apply to most players, but he's always been quite special in that department. At the moment,
29.
it's a small matter of just getting this match won. The red
30.
base of the bunch to the right seems to be available to the left corner. So I don't think he's going to go into them at this stage. Just slipping behind the red. That's where the angle on the black that he always strives for is so important, because it allows him perfect position.
37.
And there is perfect position, but you will have to get these reds split. There's half a dozen. If he does, he can't get the frame one. Might just try and move them here. That's a nice shot. It is a nice shot. He knew exactly where that cue ball was going to go. He steered it around for the black. And it was a straight pot. He mightn't have had to hit the reds there. But he chose to.
$45.
And if the next shot works, it could be a match winner. Question of where the cue ball ends up, having potted this red.
$46.
So 43 in
52.
front, not that much more to do to set up a mouth-watering clash tonight with John Higgins, and you get the feeling
53.
they're going to each raise their games. You often see that when the big hitters play each other. Dings play well this afternoon. Higgins didn't have to play that well, let's be honest, but if they do meet tonight, it could be a cracker.
Yeah, I mean, Ding found out yesterday on that flight to the UK that he was in to the Champion of Champions, and I think he hasn't played at his best. He showed some lovely touches, though, as you'd expect from him.
58.
This is the shot. Red-black will be taking him very close. The red required after this black. Oh, he played to hit the red on the pink spot. That was the last piece of the jigsaw in a way.
66.
So now the frame's still not over. We saw a turnaround in frame 4. Half-ball cannon on the top red would have been ideal.
Yeah, it doesn't get any more straightforward, this game, does it? Just needed to get on the red. He would have been over. He was well in front in the last frame, remember? Didn't kill that one off. Pushes that red to the cushion. It's a good lead. 57, but there is still a possible 59 on.
Ding might have even tried to push the black to the cushion there as well. He knows the stronger the position is in, if he can keep these reds safe, because Zhang will just move one out. It's not an impossible table. If he did get the chance, he would need very high value colours. He's just hanging on in there with an outside chance. Try exactly the same shot, push the black safe. Didn't succeed. Yes, for Zhang Anders to win, he can afford to take one pink, the other three reds with black. So the other tactic Ding could employ was just take all the reds away from the high value colours, so that position is more difficult. I think he played that. He's been trying to play that shot for 3 goes, and it's almost like a long cannon at billiards, isn't it? But he's pushed the black safe. Now it's an even more difficult task for Zhang Anda. It's quite good, but even then, I mean, even if Ding was to stick a chance for Zhang Anda, how on earth would he win with 3 red blacks, a red pink, and all the colours from here? Hard to think that that's on. I mean, he's left the red, but I don't see how Zhang Anda can even go for it unless he can get out onto a colour. Better off playing safe, I think. Pretty hopeless task, it looks. Win this frame.
1.
Oh, it's a brilliant pot, I have to say. It really is. But things get more difficult from now. He's got to pot this pink and then 3 blacks and clear up. And then take a bow, I suppose, if you manage all those things. It'll be some effort.
First things first, this has to go in.
Seven.
With all his heroics of late, you sort of wouldn't put it past him, but he needs this black now.
Eight.
Bit straight. He's got to send the cue ball almost to the pocket as well here to get position on the next red. That's what he's looking at. Potting the black, cue ball right the way through, past the line of the pink, to that red to the right middle. Has he gone far enough?
15.
This must be really close. He's got to be able to hit enough of it to pot it. He may do. It may be possible.
Just okay, but it's a difficult black to keep going, to say the least.
I suppose
16.
the only good thing about this black, and it is horrible, is that if you do pot it, he was heading up towards the red. I mean, he's still on track, but he's living quite dangerously here in this clearance attempt. And this is a shot to get round to the black as well, so all of a sudden it's possible. He has to pot the black again with this red. It's a good shot, this. This is a really
24.
good shot. Well now. Hit me before our very eyes.
Yeah, if you didn't see the tournament last week and you were watching early on in this match thinking, how did he win that? Well, we're seeing why here. Giving himself a chance of making an unlikely clearance.
$31.
Wow, this is just incredible. Where he started. Red along the bolt cushion, pink, everything about this break has been completely brilliant.
$36.
Well, it feels like he's done the hard work and there's been a lot of it. Can he now put it away? 4 balls required. Another frame
40.
Ding was in control of, just needed one more red to kill it off. Zhang demonstrating here why he has arrived as a top player.
I don't believe what I'm
45.
seeing. This is as good as it gets, this clearance. It really is. By any standards, this has been a very special break.
$51.
This won't be the highest break of the tournament. He may end up the best. It's kept Zhang Anda in the tournament as long as he can knock the black in. A clearance from the gods. What an extraordinary break to stay in the champion of champions. Ding Junhui's lead is cut to 3-2. Take a bow, Zhang Anda. What an extraordinary clearance
Thank
that was to stay in the match, to turn the match around.
Frame 6. Ding Junhui to break. Thank you.
With Ding suddenly having looked a massive favourite, certainly at 3-0 and 3-1 when he was just a ball from clinching the match. I'm sure as he surveyed the table, because he put the black on the cushion, he looked where the reds were, he thought, well, I'm going to get back to the table surely at some point. No. Zhang cleared up. And it's game on.
Well, slight mistake. Yeah, I'm not going to keep on about it. We've seen a lot of snooker over the years, easy to get. I think that four-red, four-colour clearance is as good as anything I've seen. It kept the match alive. And Ding's got to go through it all over again, as you say. I mean, if you get 50 in front with about 6 reds left, he won't be counting his chickens this time. Only way I think he'll feel safe is if he pots all the balls until there's none left on the table. Then he can't clear up.
6.
I just think whoever wins, of course, will be playing John Higgins, a man known for many a fine clearance. It's the sort of break you would associate with him.
7.
Anyway, Ding back in. He's made all the highest breaks. He's made the 5 highest breaks in this match, but the match isn't over yet.
$12. 30. $20.
Yeah, I was looking at that shot. He looked really tight. It's not in
Danger,
hindsight. I was
20.
thinking, does it even go? So we get the best view, I think, behind the pocket, and that was not into a full pocket. I think from the left side, he could have got it. I think it was a misjudgment. Hardly surprising because
1.
I don't suppose Ding can quite believe this match is still going.
$8. 9.
Well, if he goes into the bunch, he's got to hit the pink full on. It's just above the reds. So anything but a full ball contact, the cue ball would just veer off to one side. Oh, he got a good contact on it though. If he's not on a red, he's unlucky there. Sure that he is on one.
14.
It's quite a good shot he played. But you need help on those attempts to go into the bunch. I mean, the key is that the cue ball just stopped in the centre of the table. That's good. You've got a good connection. Still not on a ball.
Zhang on 14.
Well, he just wasn't in the match, was he? First 3 frames, he only scored 10 points. But my word, he's in it now.
Yeah, smattering of applause. It was a good safety shot there, swinging the cue ball round. Lovely piece of cueing that. He had to screw back sort of towards the middle pocket. Couldn't use a cushion, but he's got the other side of the blue as well. The game's changed, hasn't it? This match, totally.
6. Seven. 14. 50.
A slight error this time. He wanted to be further across. It's a little bit thin, this. And of course, he'll have to hold for a red. It's not as if he can play it plain ball and end up at the wrong end of the table. So he'll screw it in, and this could go wrong. But not much is going wrong. He's a very confident player now. Took him a while to acclimatise, now that he's back in the UK after his exertions of the weekend. But he's right in the match now, all right.
$23.
I don't think he wanted to go into the reds, but the angle that he was faced with on the black left him with no choice, and it's put him out of position. So the break's over. This time we can safely say that.
Zhang under 30.
Amazing how the atmosphere in the room has changed to what was looking like people making plans, you know, for an early finish to now everyone riveted to this, wondering exactly how it's going to work itself out. Thing is, it wasn't just 3-0. Zhang had done nothing. He scored 10 points and was looking likely to be on the way home again. Now, got his teeth into this match. He's got his teeth into this match well and truly.
Another beautiful pot. I mean, that is such a clean piece of ball striking again, like that shot earlier. Into the middle of the pocket. And now a choice of colours. He's always been a very good ball striker. I've always thought he lacked a little bit in the way of, you know, positive intent.
3.
Looking at shots for too long until things in his mind can go wrong, but, well, that's all gone now. I mean, that was really the story of his career. Somewhere along the lines, things have really changed in a massive way. That was unlucky again. Twice he's gone into the reds from the black
11.
and not finished on one. Unless that one goes, but again, I don't think it does unless use his side. So maybe the plant retreat into the bulk area in playing it. A bit of insurance. He hopes not to leave one. Look out. It's a tough shot, that. Played cautiously.
Zhang under 11.
So he leads by 35, 59 on in this dramatic sixth frame, in this increasingly dramatic contest. He's looking more and more dangerous with every visit to the table. Suddenly.
Very awkward. Sometimes you want to put your bridge end in a certain place, but there's a ball in the way. And this is one of those instances. He doesn't quite know how to form a bridge. Can't touch a ball. Obviously, it'd be a foul. Yeah, it was really difficult. He hasn't missed many recently. So I suppose Ding's going to have to do it. Repay the compliment and steal a frame back here to get the match won. Of course, he's a very experienced player, Ding Junhui, and he waits one, didn't have much of a shot there, knows that the clearance is on, if ever he got the chance to clear. It was a very awkward position he was in there. He's played a very good safety shot. That was quite tough. Chance he would hit the red on the way back, the other one. All the shots are coming together for Zhang. Well, I don't know that he'll have this put back. Surely just roll behind the black will be the shot here. The simplest of snookers. See what he's trying to do there. I mean, not just hit the top side of the red to get the cue ball up the other end. He's managed it, but not by making contact with the red. So he'll get another try at this. Doesn't want to hit it full ball. That could be end of frame. So it's an attempt to hit the top side of this ball. Skim off it for safety. That was very close again. These points that he's now sort of leaking are not helping him.
Things were looking so rosy for Ding, weren't they, about an hour ago? He was sort of getting ready for the Higgins-Ding head-to-heads. But now he's in a real tight spot. But he has got the cue ball back to safety. Terrific shot.
Well, it cuts in. It's thin, but it'll certainly cut in. And you'd be surprised if he got this. It wouldn't lead to him taking the frame with the various colours at his mercy.
Well, what a week he's having, this young man. And it continues. It didn't look likely, as I say, at 3-0. He really was not in the match at all, but he's shown so much steel and grit and determination and poise under pressure. And he needs this red. He's 51 in front with 51 on, so this red to take us into a deciding frame. This is the new Zhang Anda, increasingly difficult to beat. It's a pretty incredible turnaround, this. Several times Ding could have won 3-0. Oh, sorry, 4-0. He could have won 4-1. But here we are, set fair for a deciding frame finish.
$11.
And I think so much of this is how he took the positives from that English Open defeat to Trump. He was 7-3 up, remember, in the final, lost 9-7, but really looked at it the right way. He'd reached a final, he'd taken one of the world's best almost to the line. Judd Trump had to find his best game to win.
18.
So rather than get on his own case and berate himself, he thought, right, I'm going to come back stronger. And, well, in just a few weeks, he won a tournament, and here he is.
90.
With every chance now to put himself into that group final against John Higgins this evening. And this is why we love sport, because, you know, just a couple of months ago, all of this, if you'd have been told was going to happen, you'd have thought, really? But Zhang has done it. And he's done it brilliantly.
Yeah, I mean, if you follow them closely, like we were lucky enough to work in snooker, and I've seen enough of Zhang over the years. We all have to think this did not seem within his capabilities, I've got to be honest. I'm completely and utterly wrong, because he's proved what he can do.
Yeah, just so impressive, the poise that he has. We saw it on that clearance, of course, in the last frame. He's controlled this frame well.
30.
So a match that looked like a procession has turned into a nail-biter.
44.
Zhang, the man of the moment, has taken us the distance. Ding was in full control at 3-0. It's all turned around with 1-3-3. The decider is next.
Trust the Trader, sponsoring ITV4 Daytime.
TrustTheTrader.com.
If you're homeless, you're never safe.
This Christmas, too many young people like Kira will be at risk, right here on our streets. But you could help a young person find safety and begin a new future by sponsoring a room at Centrepoint.
It's more than a room. You get real support and training to help you get your life back on track.
This Christmas, please search Sponsor Room online today or call 0800 473 0097 and be the turning point for a young person like Kira. Thank you.
Pay less for streaming you can rely on and win at staying in. Because now you can get BT broadband, even at ultra-reliable full fibre, for only $30.99 a month on a 24-month contract and pay nothing up front. Plus, get a £20 money-back speed guarantee and Norton security to keep you protected online. Hurry, offer ends 16th of November. Switch to BT today and win at staying in.
What makes a Tempur mattress so special? Is it the NASA technology that we developed into our unique Tempur material? Or that it helps you get that true, restful sleep? Tempur, a mattress like no other. Available at stores nationwide.
Trust the Trader, sponsoring ITV4 Daytime.
TrustTheTrader.com.
Well, what a match it's turned into. Ding 3-0 up. Zhang has fought back to 3-3.
Thank you.
There'll be a handshake if Ding can get out of his chair. Here he comes. There, he's looking a bit disconsolate. But there it is. He's got to pick himself up. There's still a match to be won. Jimmy White here a few years ago in this tournament led Ronnie O'Sullivan 3-0. Ronnie turned it round to win 4-3. We reckon that's the only time it's happened in a best-of-7 at the Champion of Champions. And it remains. Ding has made the 5 highest breaks in this match, but the fact is he's now in a real...
It's very similar to the first couple of shots in frame 1 where the Zhang break-off shot allowed this roll in red and get on the black, so almost a mirror image, those two shots. Well, he'll be delighted that went in. Goodness. That could have stayed over the pocket. So here we are in this decider. Ding in first. He just slightly annoyed there. He just brushed the black on the way through to it. He wanted to be straighter. Wasn't meant to hit the black there. This is the previous shot. He tried to pass it, but just in hitting it slightly, you know, he's pushed the cue ball shorter, stopped it from travelling. It mightn't make any difference, but it will be an annoyance. I think the previous shot is what's done him there. Should have been right behind this with the red next to it to follow.
So Zhang gets his first chance in the decider. Well, he played the aggressive shot into them, but it's not really worked out very well.
Exactly. I mean, the Reds have spread beautifully, but it's no good if you're not on one of them, and he's not. Very poor shot, to be honest with you. I'm not quite sure how that has ended up nearly going in the middle pocket, because it was not meant to. There is some crumb of comfort. Pink has made just slightly away. It's a distraction anyhow. And this is not easy. Just makes the shot awkward, as you can see. He's not sure how to attempt it yet. I think Junhui will be very grateful to have had this second chance, having blown the first one completely. Look at the table. I mean, from the right side, as we saw, there's just a sea of reds available to the right corner and the left middle. Brilliant chance. They're all lined up, as you can see. Exactly where you'd want them to be in a deciding frame.
It's worth saying, in frames 4 and 5, he was a long way in front in both, just a ball or so away from killing it off. So, okay, he's building a lead, but he's got to close it out. Keep Zhang in that seat.
Well, that shot was a natural, but you still have to execute the shot well, and he's done exactly that. Once the pot goes in cleanly, right in the middle of the pocket, you feel the cue ball will do everything else you ask of it. Been an extraordinary match, actually. We thought we knew what was going to happen. It was going to be easy for Ding, a bit of a reaction to the weekend from Zhang Anda. Then the twist, and then an amazing comeback. I suppose based on what we've seen, it wouldn't be quite right to assume this match is over just yet until the last balls are potted.
Well, we're down to 6 reds, which of course is how Ding eventually got in this tournament, winning that World Championship. But he's got a good lead, 40 points. Safe red on the side cushion. It's in his hands. But what we have seen, and it's a reiteration from the weekend, is how difficult Zhang Anda now is to beat. And he hasn't beaten him yet. He's missed that one. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Wow, I've not seen Ding so animated in missing the ball. I mean, it's unfolding in front of the very eyes. This, the twists and turns of this match. I mean, he didn't quite get on it right, but even then the rest shot was not so difficult as all that. He wanted to be straighter. Is it happening all over again? Obviously that left-hand red, which is safe, could save Ding. I mean, it could not be in a worse place, really, for a possible clearance. It's too close to the cushion to double, I would say. It's hard to cannon out because you can push it beyond the middle. There's lots of things when it comes into play that make it an awkward red. I mean, if he's really being brave, he could knock it out here. I'm not saying he should. With other reds there, though, would bring it out. Completely understand why he hasn't done it. Now, he's got the shot here to move it. Pop the red, chip the other red out and be on the blue. He's going to need it. So it could be now. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. What a shot. Well thought out.
And now it's a serious chance. What a story this is. Zhang Anda just a few days ago won his first ranking event to get in this tournament. It looked like he'd suffered a sort of adverse reaction to that early on in this match. He was absolutely nowhere, but he has shown he's steel and then some.
quite a big shot here if he's straight. I mean, he's going to have to use a bit of cue power. It's not really his strong suit. In fact, it's almost worse. It's an angle, top side of a straight angle. So getting on the red is a challenge. And that's exactly how he played it. Taking the red up the table.
34.
I mean, what a view of that we had.
35. $37.
So all about this pink now, I guess. That's what Ding will be holding on to.
39.
Yeah, and he won't need the black crucially, so that would be a big problem had he needed to get from pink to black. Ding can't quite believe this, I'm sure.
42.
So this is the last possible challenge. The angle on blue to land on pink from this shot.
46.
Wow.
51.
It couldn't be that easy, could it, I suppose? Now, does he play the double? Really, you feel the shot here is to put the pink safe and put distance between them. Play the cue ball in behind the black. But yeah, that's the right shot. It has to be under the circumstances. What a match this has been. I mean, if Zhang wins this, I don't quite know how he will have done it. But he hasn't yet.
Oh, down to the last two balls. Ding will need them both. Firstly, he needs to get the pink safe.
What a match we have enjoyed here this afternoon. Do you know, a lot of these people came in this afternoon, they bought their tickets thinking they were going to see Ronnie O'Sullivan in action. But my goodness me, they'll not be disappointed. Alarat Manis and Ken Doherty, we saw Ding Junhui go into a 3-0 lead. Zhang had barely potted a ball.
Yeah.
The comeback was something remarkable. And Ding Junhui's had to win that match twice, Ken.
That was the most incredible best-of-7 match I think I've ever seen. It had everything. I mean, Ding was one ball away, I think, 4 times to win in that match, and Zhang Anda pulled out an unbelievable clearance to keep his hopes alive, and then looked like he was going to win it there at the end. And the finish with a black ball was just the icing on the cake. What a match.
Unbelievable.